Assalamu alaikum everyone. So in this week projects class we talked about, we recalled what the habitats are, and then we talked about two types of habitats. So a habitat is a home of an animal or a plant. Almost every place on earth, from the hottest desert to the coldest ice pack, are home to a certain type of animal and plant. So what are the two basic types of habitat? We have water habitat and land habitat. So let's divide them into further 5 groups. We have aquatic habitat, forest or woodland. We have deserts. We have savanna or grasslands, and polar or tundra habitat. So today we are going to talk about savanna and grasslands and aquatic habitats. So what are hot water-based habitats? So marine is a word that describes the oceans and seas where water is salty and over 70% of the Earth's surface is covered in water. And nearly all of that is salt water from oceans and seas. So seas, ocean, lakes, rivers, wetlands, and swamps all make up the water habitat. So marine habitat can be very different from each other depending on how warm the water is. Warm and tropical water has these coral reefs with tiny, colorful fishes, while the chilly waters in polar regions have fewer species that have adapted to the water that can be colder than the temperature than the water normally freezes at, that's 0 degrees centigrade. So some of the animals that we found in the oceans are crab, dolphin, stingray, clownfish, shark, octopus, whale, and a sea turtle. So then we saw this video, which will be uploaded in the Google Classroom to learn more about habitats. And then we went on a deep sea dive, which is we kind of looked what's under the sea, what's under the water. So since this might take a lot of time, I'll try to upload the link on the Google Classroom so that you can explore the sea, explore what's under the sea and see the great white shark and the fish and the octopus and even the squid, which is 164 feet down. So this is a whale that's 495 feet down. And we also see this fish, that's Atlantic herring, that's the fisherman's favorite. Now we see this fish, which here we can catch the glimpse of a deep sea angler. And this has a fishing rod on top of its head, which helps it catch the prey. So you can explore it more in detail in a while, since I might not be able to explain everything to do. It basically tells all the sea creatures that live under the sea and where exactly can we find them. So let's move on. So then we talked about savanna. The savannas are also called grasslands. And why do we call them grasslands? Because they're mostly covered by grass. And we see trees, there are few and far between. We see some flowers and some trees, but mostly it is tall bushes. And the climate of the savannas vary depending on where they are located. And a huge variety of animals and insects live there. They range from creepy crawlies, which are deep in the soil, to reptile birds and small and large mammals above the ground. Some of the largest land animals that we find there are elephants and ostriches, which is the largest birds in the world. Do you know that since it's so open and wide, they offer a good-sized area for animals to travel in large packs? Animals native to African savanna are African elephants, zebras, horses, giraffes, etc. So the savannas cover half the surface of Africa, large areas of Australia, South America, and India. Humans create savanna by burning grasslands and cutting down trees so they can plant crops. Large animals like elephants can turn a forest into a savanna by knocking down trees and trampling on seeds. Many animals in the savanna are herbivores, which means they eat plants and grass in savanna. During the rainy months, animals thrive in savanna because there's a lot to eat, but in dry weathers, there could be a lot of fires. So some animals which live under the water can hide in small burrows by digging deep in the ground, while others look for shelter and move to new places. While some birds, such as fork-tailed drongos, don't flee the fire, they actually fly towards the fire. because they love to eat flame roasted insects. So then we saw this video in class that you can, we saw this video in class that will be available on Google Classroom. So let's see the African savanna. So this is the African savanna. Can you spot the lion and the wild beasts and African elephants and vultures and also giraffes, zebras and African rock python. And there's also a cheetah and spotted hyenas. So let's see the picture of some of these animals. So this is a lion that's found in Africa. It's a male lion, a female lion, and a lion cub. So these are the wild beasts that travel in herds. This is a python snake. And this lives in tropical Africa and Asia. That's also found there. This is a gazelle. This is a cheetah that's found there. And this is the fastest land animal in the world. We also find hyenas there and giraffe and also vultures, which are large animals and they do not hunt for food. Instead, they feed on dead animals. So this is the African savanna that we saw the picture of. We were able to see that the animals that are found there. So this is it for today, and we'll continue with this topic in the next class. See you all later. Okay, Allah Hafiz.